Hello, welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're making baked macaroni and cheese. This is an easy recipe. It is a little time consuming, so bear with me and we will get this. You're going to start out with a pot of water, which you're going to add salt to. This is your choice if you want to add the salt or a little salt. I actually added just a couple of teaspoons. Then you're going to add a cup and a half of dried elbow macaroni. You're going to cook this until it's just tender, which probably is going to take between 8 and 9 minutes. It doesn't have to be cooked thoroughly, but you do want to get it to a certain point because it will bake the rest of the way when you put it in the oven. Now you're going to need a large skillet to which you're going to add 3 tablespoons of butter or margarine, your choice. You're going to want to melt this, so stir it around until you know you've gotten all the lumps down. This may take a couple of minutes to melt the butter, depending on how long you've had your pan heated. Mine, I actually let it come up to temperature before I put the butter in, as you can see. Now, once you've gotten all the butter melted, you're going to add 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Once you get this into the pan, start stirring it. You want to mix it with the butter until it's mixed completely through. And that way you can actually try to get rid of most of the lumps before you add anything else to this mixture. It will take a second to smooth out. Just keep stirring it. Once you get everything mixed through, you want to let this boil or sizzle for a couple of minutes to at least let it cook through, because it will give it a flavor as you let it sit, and it will brown a little bit. Now once this has started to bubble and really turn color a bit, you're going to get ready to put in your milk. To this, you're going to need 2 cups of milk. This is not skim milk. You really need whole milk for this to work. Now pour your milk in slowly. And if you want to, just put a bit at a time and stir it in. But once the milk goes in, you need to continually stir the mixture. You don't want to let it sit because it can scald or burn the milk, which will give it an odd taste and actually might make it a little lumpy, which you don't want. So just keep moving it around, and as you go and add all the milk in, eventually it'll start to thicken, and you'll notice this because it'll be kind of thick like a gravy, which is what you're trying to go for. Now during the time that this is thickening, this can take a few minutes, so don't rush it. Don't feel like it has to happen in a second. It will happen. Once you are stirring though, you can go ahead and add half a teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of pepper and stir that in as well. As you stir, make sure you go around to all of the sides and make sure everything gets pulled in, because some spots may thicken up where others don't, and you want to try to mix it all together where it's all consistent. As you can see from looking at what I'm stirring, it is starting to thicken. It's not all the way there yet, but it is starting to. once it does start to thicken, you'll notice it does happen pretty quickly at that point because everything is mixed together so thoroughly it is actually cooking down. So now you can see I'm reaching pretty much the consistency of what I wanted before I add cheese to this, because it is thicker and you want a thickness to it so that way when you put the cheese in it mixes in well and it makes it a thicker stuff. So here we go. You're going to add your cheese. It's 2 cups of cheese. I added a cup of sharp, a half a cup of Swiss, and a half a cup of mozzarella. You can mix this up however you want. You can use sharp and Swiss or sharp and mozzarella. The sharp is what you need to get the flavor, and then you can actually add other kinds to it, whatever is your favorite. Once you get these into the skillet, start stirring it because the cheese will start to melt because everything that was already in the pot is very hot. So that way, you know, when you get this in, just mix it through. It'll start to break down and mix in with everything that was already there. All the cheeses will actually mix together, and if you continue to stir, you're going to get something that's pretty smooth, and it looks like a soft, smooth cheese that's just basically a sauce. As you keep doing the stirring, you will see that the color will change to more of a yellow, which is what you want, because, you know, that's kind of the way macaroni and cheese looks. However, you will learn something when you taste this after you make it, because I didn't know this either, but if you've eaten boxed macaroni and cheese your whole life and then you try the baked version, it's like night and day, because trust me, I love this. It's a great taste, and the box stuff, you really won't want the box again because of the fact this just has a real cheese taste and it's so much better. So as you can see in the video, everything is mixing through and all the cheeses are mixed together to make this really good cheese sauce. So now you want to add your macaroni into the sauce and stir it around until you coat it completely. This might take a minute to get the cheese completely through, but it will mix through, and you need to pull the cheese in from the sides. Like on my skillet, there's a lot of cheese around the side, and I keep pulling it in until I mix it all through, because you really want to get the cheese everywhere. As you're getting to this point, you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees to possibly 375, depending on your oven, because some people's ovens heat more than others. You're going to cook this for 25 to 30 minutes, and technically it's already cooked, but when you put this in the oven, you're basically doing it to finish off the mixing of the cheese and the macaroni and have it go bubbly on top, because the bubbly brown part is just amazing. So now you're ready for the oven. Make sure you spray your container before you put this in. I can't emphasize that enough because this stuff will stick. And this is what you get when it comes out of the oven. And it, like I said, is an amazing thing to have just by itself for a meal if you wanted to eat it. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and I hope I see you next time.